school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine, the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of the York Revolution. High school basketball plays here on Sports Radio 1350 WYK. First in York, first in sports. Bringing you the best of the York Adams League all season.
Here's Gordon for three. Good from the right wing. Darren Gordon answers with the triple. Long rebound, Wagner. 2-on-1. Wagner takes it himself, lays it in, they count it.
Now, let's head out to the action for the game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine, right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK, York.
Good evening, everyone, from Central York High School. It's our high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine, and boy, do we have a doozy for you this evening. Ray Jensen here with you alongside Andy Bria, and Andy, it's a doozy of the game because it's a title rematch from last year's YAIAA Division I girls basketball tournament. Central York Panthers hosted the New Oxford Colonials. Last year, the Central York Panthers were the victors, and the Colonials went home the losers, but who knows, it could be a different story this evening. But looking at these two teams, Andy, and the Panthers and the New Oxford Colonials, the Panthers season has been going pretty well thus far, and the Colonials not so much. Give us your take on either team coming into this matchup tonight.
Well, let's take the home team, Central York. Number one, the young lady that's not in uniform, that's standing down under the basket, Tina Preston, their big girl in the middle, an IUP, that's where she's going next year. She's got a bad wheel, so sprained ankle, she's not coming back tonight. And that's a big hole in the center of the Central team. I mean, you know, they got to get used to playing without her. That's probably the reason they lost their own tournament here on the floor over the Christmas holidays, because she's a big part of that situation. But they got some other people that can fill it up. Valenchik, Sepnik, Wagner, Cabri, they can all fill it up. So they're going to be real tough tonight. Other side of the table, you got first-year coach Mike Engler of the New Oxford Colonials. I know Mike real well. He came to my program back in 2004 and was there and up until he took this head coaching job. He's a great young man. There's a lot about basketball. But he lost some kids last year. I believe he lost at least three starters. He's got some kids that can play. He's got to get them to play his brand of basketball. They got to buy into what he's doing. I think they got a big challenge ahead of them tonight, Ray. This Central team can get it done.
They certainly can, both offensively and defensively. Coming into this evening, the Panthers scoring just under 60 points per game. And get this, on defense, they're only allowing under 39.5 points per game. That's a tough defense for the Colonials to face tonight, Andy.
Absolutely. I mean, we used to have what we called the under 40 club. That was the goal every night. So you can hold a high school team, I don't care boys or girls, under 40 points. You're going to win a lot of basketball games. I think they're very disciplined in what they do. Scott Wisner, 19 years he's been on that, stalking that sideline. I coached against him a couple of times. He's a really good coach. He'll have his kids well disciplined. They'll play that really tough defense. They come and get after you, and New Oxford's going to have to be able to handle the pressure and be able to handle the ball offensively, you know, in order to stay in this one.
Certainly, Andy. We'll continue on our Vito's pregame show after this quick break. We'll bring you our Game Time PA coaches interviews as Andy was able to sit down with both the head coaches of Central York and New Oxford. That's coming up next right after this break in the Vito's pregame. You're listening to the high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
For over 50 years, Vito's Pizza. Check out their daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 till 2. 2 slices of pizza and a small soda, only $3.99, or a small sub for only $4.25. Monday night, 2 large cheese pizzas for only $15.99. Tuesday, a large stromboli and large pitcher of soda, just $11.99. Wednesday, a large cheese pizza and large pitcher of soda, just $11.49. Vito's open till midnight, Monday through Thursday till 1 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays. Dine in at 1734 South Queen Street, York, or get carry-out. Call 843-1143. GameTimePA.com is your home for local high school sports. Log on for all the scores, stats, photos, and more, plus live stream coverage of the area's can't-miss matchups all season long. Stay in the game no matter where you are with the free GameTime PA app. Download it directly to your iPhone or Android and get all the Game Time features you love when you're on the go. Available at the iPhone App Store, Android Market, and, of course, GameTimePA.com.
Since 1964, York Area Sports Night has been an honored tradition, giving local sports fans, young and old, the chance to meet their sports heroes. To shake a hand, get an autograph, snap a photo. Join us on Thursday, February 8th for the 54th Annual York Area Sports Night, held at Heritage Hills Golf Resort and Conference Center with the reception from 4 to 6 p.m. Sponsored by Shipley Energy, Gladfelder Insurance, M&T Bank, S&H Express, McConkey & Company Insurance, the York Revolution, and Sports Radio 1350. Join our great local partners and a host of others with 2018 sponsorships still available. Visit YorkSportsNight.com. Guests at this year's event include College and Pro Football Hall of Famer Dave Robinson, a Penn State Nittany Lions star from the early 60s who went on to win 3 NFL championships and 2 Super Bowl titles with the Redskins and Packers. Get your tickets today. A portion of proceeds fund Shipley Award scholarships for York area student athletes. Visit YorkSportsNight.com. York Area Sports Night, a York tradition since 1964.
Mornings at 9. Dan Patrick on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Welcome back to our pregame show. Tonight we're at Central York High School where the Central York Lady Panthers will take on the New Oxford Lady Colonials. And with me now is a very good friend of mine and first-year head coach of the Colonials, Mike Engler. Coach, now you're driving the bus, okay? You're not sitting in a bus anymore, so I know you a lot of years, Michael. Talk to me a little bit about your first coaching job.
It's an experience. Like you guys always told me, there's a lot of things that I didn't have to do back then. It was nice to sit in the bench and, just coaching. And now you're leading the program, trying to set standards and come up with philosophies, and everyone's looking at us. So it's different, but I love it. It's what I've always wanted to do, and I'm looking forward for many, many years of coaching now at the varsity level.
I believe you're going to have a lot of success. All right, let's talk about your kids a little bit. Talk about a couple of the kids you're bringing here tonight to play the Central team, a very talented Central team.
Senior Presley Berryhill, she's the leader of this team. She's learning a new role this year. She's trying to be our scorer compared to the point guard playing that one position. So she's adapting and she's doing well with that. She's hard-nosed and a great teammate. Next would be Dalen Stabler. She's that kid that every coach loves. She plays defense, she plays offense, she rebounds, she does it all. So she's tough. She's only a junior, so I got one more year of her. And then in the middle we have Morgan Adams. She's our big post player, sophomore. She's still learning the ropes of playing varsity basketball, trying to get her confidence to where it is, and hopefully we can find it tonight.
We were just talking out there on the floor, Mike, before we came in here. Talk a little bit about it. Dude, kids to me anymore don't seem to be tough. I don't know if it's just me that I'm too old, all right, or is it hard to teach a kid to be tough?
Yes, it's definitely. We get the pads out, and these kids are like, and they're like, the pads, and they're like dreading the pad, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is old school. We used to get the pads out every night, but now these kids nowadays, they're privileged. They like to have things given to them, and they don't want to work for it. And I'm trying to change that culture too, because there's a couple kids on this program that have a lot of ability, and if they would just put some time in, I think they could be good basketball players.
All right, give me a couple of keys, Michael. Your kids got to do well to get out of here with a W.
First thing is stop Nixon. We need to stop Nixon. We got to keep her, make her go right, and keep her from going left on everything. Rebound well, make some shots. Right now we're in a slump with shooting, so we're looking for that jump shot to go in tonight. And these rims are tough because you have one soft rim at one end and you have one hard rim at the other end. So but the biggest thing is defense. We need to play defense tonight. We need to control the game, play with patience, and stop turning the ball over. We have a tendency to play a little fast sometimes, and we just need to slow down and run the offense and trust it. And if we do that, I think it'll be a good night.
All right, Michael, I'm real proud of you, and really it's nice to see you out here. Good luck to you tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more of our pregame show right after this on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Sports injury? Walk into WellSpan Urgent Orthopedics for immediate care. No appointment is ever needed. Our orthopedic and sports medicine specialists are here to treat you. Visit wellspan.org/urgent orthopedics today for hours at our York and Hanover locations.
Donegal offers car and homeowners insurance at rates that are very competitive. So competitive that Donegal's car insurance rates are among the lowest in the state. And if you insure your car and home with Donegal, Donegal will take up to an additional 10% off their already low rates. Donegal, a better value. Contact Coatman Kunkel Insurance at 717-854-0300 or stop in at 3217 East Market Street, York. Locally owned and operated by Pam and Rudy Kochman. Coatman Kunkel Insurance.
First in York, first in sports. Sports Radio 1350, WOIK.
Welcome back to our pregame show. With me now is a very successful and longtime head coach of the Central York Panthers, Scott Wisner. Coach, Happy New Year to you.
Well, thank you very much. Happy New Year to you also. I wish it was a little bit warmer.
So do I. All right, let's start with the missing piece tonight. Your talented big girl, Preston. Talk a little bit about what the team's got to do in her absence, if you will.
Well, obviously she is our biggest interior presence, so probably the biggest thing that we miss is her presence defensively in the lane, but also rebounding. Both of those things are a big part of her game, and so we need a lot of people to step up and pitch in to take care of that.
Your kids are playing well. Valenchik, Septic, I said the sniper from 3, but talk a little bit about your other kids in general.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of experience. Really happy with the way that the team has gelled together this year and picked up after losing Emma, who was such a big part last year. Fabry is just really solid at the point, has kind of grown into being really comfortable running the team. Is capable of hitting occasional 3 and penetrating here and there, but really just running the offense. Sarah Sepik, we're really happy with her getting a little more diverse with taking the ball to the basket in addition to her ability to shoot threes. Obviously, Nixon is our primary scorer. She's averaging a little more than 15 a game, over 1,000 points already this year. So, a lot of people know what she can do. And then Allison Wagner's really stepped in this year and, again, just does a lot of things for us. Really good defender, good passer, good court sense. So all those kids have really come together nicely for us.
You got a New Oxford team coming in here tonight that's had some success in the past. They lost some kids. They got a new head coach in Mike Engler. Talk a little bit about the challenge of playing the Colonials here on your floor tonight.
Well, every time we step on our floor, obviously the first thing is just to protect our home court. We don't lose here very often. This year, losing in our tournament to Susquehanna kind of hurt a little bit, but again, that was after losing Tierra. So we just want to come out and play the way we're capable of playing. We want to make sure that we respect every opponent that comes in here because our league is tough. You see teams doing well when they go outside the league, so we know New Oxford's going to play hard. We know that they have some threats, so we need to do the things that we do well.
A couple of keys, Scott. Your kids got to do well to get out of here with the W tonight.
First thing for us is always defense, just putting pressure on the ball, just being really solid, helping everybody, making sure we're in good team defensive position. And then we have to shoot well. I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing. I feel like we've gotten good shots. We execute our offenses pretty well, but it's a matter of how hot or cold we are. So, that's another thing. Hopefully being on our home floor, we'll be able to do that. And I think if we do those two things, we're going to be good.
Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back with more of our pregame show right after this on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
In fact, we're a little cut for time. Let's go right to our player introductions brought to you by Unique Physique. Thanks to head coach Mike Engler and head coach Scott Wisner for talking to our own Andy Bria in our Game Time PA coaches interviews. And while on the floor, they introduced the starters for each team of the Panthers and the Colonials. Let's have our own coach and Andy Bria give us our player intros. Once again, brought to you by Unique Physique. Coach Bria, take it away.
New Oxford Colonials, coached by first-year head coach Mike Engler. Number 3, she's a junior. She's a forward, Daylin Stabler. Number 5, a senior point guard, Presley Berryhill. Number 22, Morgan Adams. She was a sophomore. A point guard, a junior, number 23, Madison Ross. And number 25, a senior forward, Lauren Sloniker. On the homestanding Central York Panthers, Scott Wisner in his 19th season. Number 11, Nixon Valenchik. Number 12, Katie Fabry. Number 15, Allison Wagner. Number 22, Sarah Sepik. And number 42, Emily Prowell. This is a good team. I'm going to tell you what, New Oxford's got his hands full.
Absolutely, and with that, Andy, and they're playing a person down in Tiara Preston, as we mentioned early in the pregame show, averaging about under 15 points a game, 6 rebounds. She's going to play basketball for college and IUP, and even without Preston on the floor, this is still a tough team to face.
Absolutely, and I mean, Central, like I said, is always well coached, so they might not be real big, and that's a big part. And you got to learn to play. He lost. He didn't talk about it, but he talked to me about it before. The biggest thing for them in losing like the Susquehannock and losing his own tournament here on the floor, and Susquehannock taking nothing away from them, they're good, is learning how to play without Preston. So we're going to figure it out, see if they figured it out yet. Here they go.
We certainly will, and our WellSpan Sports Medicine tip-off goes to New Oxford. They're coming to Central York tonight wearing the red uniforms and the dark trim around the shorts. And for Central York, they have their home whites with the orange and black trims on the side. New Oxford working in the half court. Ross goes to her left with Presley Berryhill, who was primarily a point guard for this team last year, but now she's taken over the load in points this season. She goes to Madison Ross to the right, now back towards the top of the key, Lauren Sloniker.
You're going to have to get some cutters going through this defense.
They'll have to. They are stout all around Central York and getting some pressure toward the baseline. That was Stabler, and Stabler feeds inside to a teammate and gets it in for 2.
Morgan Adams underneath.
She's their post player this season, still trying to learn the ropes of playing varsity basketball, but a good inside look there.
1-2-2 full court press by New Oxford to start the game.
Go with that is Central York. Inside with Emily Prowell, whistle blown. Took too many steps.
So now here comes a 2-2-1 full court trap by Central.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of matchups they'll put up defensively for New Oxford. And already being smothered is Berryhill near the Central York Panthers bench and gets pushed out of bounds.
Well, and see there, Berryhill had the position. There's no reason to, number 15, I guess it was, 15. That's Wagner should have never pushed her, and you commit that foul, and that's what the pressure does.
2-0 New Oxford, just a minute in our Maple Donuts first half here. In the half court now, the Colonials. Berryhill goes to her left and feeds to her left, and Sloniker now at the top of the key. Ross and to her right is Stabler. Stabler goes inside. Ross is in there along with...
That's 2 on Wagner.
Allison Wagner, who was the defender there and got blown on the whistle.
She picks up 2 quick ones. I don't know. That didn't make Scott Wagner happy. I can tell you that right now.
That'll be 2 free throws coming up for Ross. First is no good off the back of the rim.
And this is where you got it, you got to make these shots right here, the free ones against Central. You got to make them all. Okay.
Ross's second is good, and extends the New Oxford lead to 3.
New Oxford in a man-to-man. It's tough to play against this Central bunch.
They do like to go fast at times. The jumper for 2, no good. Wagner trying to get a shot there, but gets no rebound. And at the top of the key is Valenchik. Valenchik drives in. Colonia's all around her, grabs her own miss, but it's taken away. Emily Prowell came in to help out. Morgan Adams tried to take it away for New Oxford. They're going to call the dead ball.
I tell you, if Valencia can drive to the basket, Ray, she becomes a dual threat because she can fill it up from outside.
Absolutely. A shot no matter where she is in the court.
Really?
Valencia drives in, New Oxford around her, and this time a whistle blown on New Oxford.
And she drew that contact. She's going strong. She just said, I'm going to the rack and...
First foul for the Colonials tonight goes to Morgan Adams. So it's her first. Valenchik's first free throw is good.
These ought to be pretty automatic for this young lady. What is she shooting from the line? We should have it here. I guess not. Okay.
Second is good. Well, she's 2 for 2 tonight regardless.
Regardless of what you put. But she's got to be in the 70s, I would think.
Definitely. And she takes one pass away. Miscommunication there of Madison Ross trying to connect with a teammate. Here come the Panthers. Has a nice perimeter shot from Sepik. Notice a sniper, but no good. Now back to the outside with Fabry, and that is good.
That's what you cannot do. They're letting him stand around the outside and not giving a hand in the face.
Fabry a 3, and that gives Central York lead 5-3. Central York, meanwhile, takes it away from New Oxford again. Now here is Wagner, a perimeter shot. That is no good. Rebound back to Central York. Left side, Sepik, who's the typically real threat from downtown, but Valenchik's going to take a perimeter shot. No good. Didn't really touch rim. Wagner grabs the board, though. Hands it off to a teammate, and that is good. The jumper near the baseline. Emily Prowl gets her first points of the night.
And she's in there because Preston is on the bench with the bad ankle.
A sophomore forward. Averages about 4 points and 5 boards a game, does Prowl. On the other end, New Oxford, a missed shot from Dalen Stabler. Rebound to Valenchik. Now Wagner feeds to her right. And Katie Fabry. Fabry now to the right. There's Sepik, now back to her. Near the top of the key, tries to go inside the Prowl. Prowl kicks it out to Valenchik. Valenchik, a shot from the outside, no good. But an easy board for the Panthers as Sepik grabs it. Goes across the Prowl. Prowl looked inside, then drives in. Kicks it out. Here's a shot from Sepik.
Wow.
In and out, no good.
That thing was halfway down the cylinder.
Like a carnival game there.
I'll tell you what, Central is not bashful about launching it from 3.
They're going to take as many shots as they want out there, It seems.
You got kids wide open all over the perimeter.
Wagner takes a seat. She does have 2 fouls, but Coach Weisner pulls the trigger there at the switch. Katie Markle will take her spot in the court. Here come the Colonials trying to beat the press. Berryhill with it. They're on our left side. She drives in herself, in off the rim, and good.
And that's what that kid can do for you. This kid's going, I believe Berryhill, right, is a Kutztown commit. Okay, she's going to play basketball up at Kutztown this year. So you're playing D2 basketball. You're a good basketball player.
Yeah, future Golden Bear.
That's it. I went there.
Sepik, a shot from the outside, no good. Rebound goes to Berryhill. I just mentioned we'll be playing college ball of Kutztown. It's a shot, the whistle's blown, they call too many steps.
Yeah.
Substitution in for New Oxford. Jayla Brown will check in. Lauren Sloniker will take a seat.
I think you're going to want to. I think Coach Wizard's going to want to see more inside play than launching 3s all night.
Got to have a little more balance on offense,
Absolutely.
certainly. Central York takes it. Fabry goes to her right with Markle. Markle now inside the Valenchik. Valenchik surrounded by a trio of Colonials, and she is stuffed. Berryhill grabs the board. Now here goes cross to Jayla Brown. Brown drives in, misses, and picks it up as Adams. Adams no good. Valenchik got in there with Brown and Adams for the rebound. I'll say last touched by New Oxford as it went out of bounds.
Right. That's a basket. That's a shot right there on a nice breakaway by New Oxford. They've got to make that basket if they're going to stay in this game tonight.
Central York leads New Oxford 7-5. 3 minutes and change left in the first quarter.
Very sloppy right now, right? Both teams need to settle down. I think what you need to do now, if you're a coach, you need to get your kids in a half-court set and let them run some, let them run some offense and see how it goes. Yeah, there's it.
Central York turned it over, and then New Oxford took over off the outbound pass that misconnected. They call a foul there.
Number 5, Katie Markle, her first.
Central York with 3 fouls in this first quarter. 2-1 player, and Allison Wagner, who took a seat in favor of Markle. Now she's got a foul herself. Berryhill with it for New Oxford. She'll feed the Stabler. He goes to her right then. With Adams, almost stuffed on the insides pass. The whistle's blown.
Right, that's a mismatch down low. You got Sarah Sepik in there playing tough defense behind the young lady, number 3 Stabler, to receive the ball. She pushes her from behind. There's nothing that Sarah could have done in that situation.
She accrues the foul there, her first, the 4 for the Panthers in this quarter. Off the inbounds, found by Adams, who puts it out to Berryhill. Berryhill drives in, kicks out to Brown now.
Nice help defense that time by Central.
Jayla Brown works around to our left side, her right. Ball gets smacked out of bounds by Valenchik. New Oxford inbound. Just from the stand on the left side to us. We're behind the basket again like we were in West York, just to the right this time.
I like being on a second level. We can see everything.
Oh, great. It's an eagle eye view.
Absolutely.
Inside pass, Jayla Brown taken away by Emily Prowl, trying to find Stabler there. And here comes Central York. Fabry goes to her right with Sepik. Sepik drives in, not really known for an inside score, but she gets it there for 2. 9-5.
Right, we call it a sniper, but I'm telling you, boy, if she got that part of her game now penetrating, that makes her a dual threat.
Absolutely.
Another steal.
The Central York Panthers team likes to steal them and take the ball away. I mean, wow. Fabry almost loses it at half court, but able to maintain it. Goes to her left with Sepik again. Down at the top of the key, Valencic. Valencic to her right with Markle.
She walked.
That's called a walk on Markle. A little dumbfounded there, but she hands the ball off.
Well, you can't move the pivot foot. You got to watch. You got to keep it steady. Right now, Susquehannock's biggest issue is they have no cutters going through the lane. You've got to this is some real stout man-to-man defense Central plays. And you got to get them moving.
Substitution in as Sarah Berman comes in. Sepik took a seat in favor of Berman as a shot from the perimeter, no good. One inside, actually, from Adams. And able to grab the board, though, is Stabler and puts it in for 2. And now back within 2 is New Oxford. They trail 9-7. And Central York, 2 minutes to go in the first. Well, perimeter shot from Berman, who checked in, no good. Rebound to Berryhill. Here comes the Colonials. Berryhill brings it up. Prowl right behind her. She spins around trying to get away from Fabry. Contact off of Berman. Her shot no good. Rebound to Markle of the Central York Panthers.
Berman trying to do it all by herself that time. She got a good shot off. It just didn't go down.
Valencic on the outside goes to her right with Berman. Berman out to her right with Fabry. Fabry trying to go inside the Prowl and Valencic there, but no good, taken away. Here comes New Oxford. Berryhill taking her time here.
Morgan Adams with that rebound did a nice job inside that time for New Oxford.
Certainly starting to come into her own as a post player. Listed as a forward/center on the roster. Berryhill perimeter shot, meanwhile no good for the Colonials. Another offensive board by Stabler, but this one no good.
Got to make them easy ones, and she missed. That's the second one she's missed tonight.
1 for 3 really in those situations where she grabs an offensive board to try to put it back in. Panthers will settle into the half court under a minute to go in the first. Prowl takes it, drives up the baseline. Brown, it looks like Adams are all over. Adams maintains there, but Berryhill takes away the errant pass by Prowl. Normally you don't see the Panthers get it taken away too many times, but a nice defensive play there.
Nothing happened. That's where they missed Preston. Prowl took it down on the baseline and got buried there, got kind of trapped on the line.
Couldn't strength it out. Brown, meanwhile, perimeter shot, no good off the front of the rim. Rebound to Prowl.
You're going to get that. That's the second foul on Morgan Adams, and I don't think his bench is that deep. Yeah, that is. That's number 2 on he's got to get her off the floor, and there she goes.
Only 2 fouls for New Oxford in this quarter have been Adams fouls. Comes off the court in favor of Sloniker.
That one she's got to learn. I mean, she was completely boxed out that time, out of position. You just got to surrender on some days.
Sometimes, yeah, you got to make sure not to be too aggressive. Meanwhile, checked in is Taylor Marley, who's surrounded by Colonials, but they're going to beat the press. It looks like Prowl, a shot off of the defender, and that is good and extends the lead back to 4, 11-7. 17 seconds to go as the ball goes out of bounds.
You know, that time, New Oxford sold out that time, and they almost got the 10-second call, but when it didn't happen, they had Prowl wide open under the other basket.
Up the inbounds, New Oxford, Berryhill.
I think you would want to get Berryhill the ball here, counting down.
Certainly. Who else would you give the shot to besides Berryhill?
That's it. Well, right there.
Brown inside the Stabler. Stabler trying to do a hook layup over the head. No good as time expires and we end the first quarter of play. Low scoring affair thus far, 11-7 in favor of Central York. We'll take a break and bring in the second quarter of action in our Maple Donuts first half right here in our Game of the Week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine.
When you think of chicken pot pie, it might bring back memories in the kitchen with Grandma.
Grandma's the pot pie almost ready?
Yes, it is. I'll grab my keys. We're going to Rutter's.
For a limited time, VIPs earn triple rewards on all sizes of delicious chicken pot pie. Rutter's, why go anywhere else?
If you're looking for experienced barbers and a relaxing atmosphere, come to Iacono's Hair Studio, 2030 South Queen Street in York. Iacono's is a family-owned business serving the York area since 1972. For high-quality grooming and enjoyment and the professionalism of over 75 years combined expert experience, Iacono's is the place for you. For haircuts, for a straight razor shave, for a relaxing grooming experience, for the best of the best in the business, visit or call Iacono's at 854-8258.
Your day seems to fly by, but with a great cup of Rutter's coffee, you're on your way to conquering your day. With 6 coffee flavors, including our 4 seriously good new blends, you've got this. And we will give our VIPs triple rewards. Rutter's, why go anywhere else for coffee?
The home for local sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Welcome you back to Central York High School and our high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine. Girls basketball here in Central York as the Panthers host the Colonials in New Oxford in a rematch from the YAIAA District I title game of last season. Ray Jensen alongside Andy Bria beginning the second quarter of play. Central York leads 11-7 over New Oxford. Panthers are in the half court to begin the second. Emily Prowell coming in for T.R. Preston, a perimeter shot, no good. Rebound to New Oxford. Stabler hands it to Barry Hill. Now Barry Hill to Madison Ross. Ross now the Stabler. Stabler jumper, no good off the back of the rim, trying to get her own board, but she collides with the Central York players. They go out of bounds.
Hustling after her own shot. You don't see that a lot anymore.
Certainly don't. Collided with Markle, it looked like, and remain with New Oxford. Stabler will inbound it. Goes to the left at Barry Hill. Now Barry Hill at the top of the key and Jayla Brown. Brown now back to her right at Barry Hill. Barry Hill drives into the right, collides, and they're going to call that on Barry Hill. Tough take there from Marley, but she's able to get the call her way.
That's a tough call against New Oxford. I mean, you know, she's moving. The Central's player's moving. She didn't lower her shoulder or anything. I mean, that's a call.
Katie Fabry checks in. Berman will take a seat. Inbounds. Markle finds Berman. Now Marley. Marley now feeds it to Markle. Prowl on the right corner. Gets it back to Marley. Marley near the top of the key. Stumbles. Defended by Barry Hill. And Barry Hill takes it away. Good aggressive defense there from Barry Hill. Hands it to Ross. Ross a quick jumper. No good. Airballs it. Ball goes out of bounds.
You just got, you know, I think right now New Oxford's just, they're in touch. I mean, both teams shooting poorly at this point, but New Oxford's just got to calm down in the offense, on the offensive end of the floor and run a little bit of patience, have a little bit of patience in their offense.
Inbounds, Marley gets it to Fabry, now to Markle near the right side. Now the top of the key of Marley. Marley a perimeter shot, Absolutely. She got it.
That looked good from here all the way from when it left her hand. And that was 3.
It was, and extend the lead to 7 now for Central York, 14-7, 6 minutes and change to go in the second quarter. One of our Maple Donuts first half. And a shot from Brown, no good. Rebound to Nixon Velekchik of the Panthers, trying to stumble her way towards the basket, colliding at Barry Hill. Her shot no good. And Brown went down hard going up for the board.
A lot of body there.
Wow. I would not want to get in Velekchik's way as she's heading towards the basket. Sarah Sepik is now back in for the Panthers.
2-2-1 trap. This trap's been bothering New Oxford. I don't think, but Central's falling out of it a little quick.
Stabler's trying to cut up the middle, and she hands off to Barry Hill to see if she can read it better than her. She drives in, surrounded by Fabry, and gets it in for 2.
And that's why Barry Hill's going to Kutztown on the football. You know, going to play ball up there.
A shot from Sepik trying to respond to the lay-in from Barry Hill, no good, but Velenchik gets the board and puts it back in for 2. Extends the lead 16-9 in favor of Central.
That's star going against star right there. Velenchik against Barry Hill.
There comes New Oxford as Adams. Sloniker tries to get it to Ross. Does so near the top of the key. Now that her left at Brown. Brown will drive to the right.
Nice
and go inside to
right
Sloniker.
There. That was pretty.
That certainly was pretty. Brown to Sloniker. Great connection there. Now they're within 5, 16-11. 5 and change to go in the Maple Donuts first half.
Sloniker sets the high screen. Let the girl go around her. Then she rolls to the basket. She was wide open.
Executed to perfection.
Absolutely.
That pass, however, from Marley, not tried to feed inside to Velenchik, gets it back, but able to get it to Velenchik after it batted back to her. Whistle was blown as Velenchik went up for it.
No basket. On the floor, no basket.
It's on the floor, and the foul goes to Madison Ross of New Oxford, her first, the team's fourth for the half. Boy, the inbounds, quick pass.
You cannot let Valencia catch the ball within 8 feet of the basket on the inbounds. She's going to drill it every time.
Fabry, the quick pass off the inbounds to get in Valencia for 2, extends the lead back to 7, 18-11. Whistle blown as New Oxford looks like they stepped out.
New Oxford needs to stay in touch here. Right now, this is a very crucial part of the game for New Oxford, I think.
Central inbound in front of the scorer's table. Sepik gets it to Fabry. Fabry of Berry Hill on her, gets it to the left. Marley feeds it inside to Prowl. Prowl to call too many steps near the baseline.
That was just good defense by New Oxford that time. Prowl caught it down on the baseline, probably a pass that shouldn't have been thrown.
Now the inbound, here comes New Oxford.
Here comes the trap.
Ross meets it, and Marley takes it away for Central York. Sepik there trying to grab it with her, and it looks like Stabler grabbed it, and then Sepik takes it away from Stabler and puts it in for 2. That puts the score to 20 for Central York. They lead by 9, 20-11.
Coach may want to get a timeout here.
And there's another takeaway for Central York. Valencic intercepts a pass between two Colonials. It's like Ross tried to find a teammate there. Valencic takes it away with ease, and now it's an 11-point lead for Central York.
Timeout,
and we'll be a full timeout for New Oxford, and we'll join them in our Hunters Hill Orthodontics timeout. Give you more action after this in our high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine.
Get your team parties started with great Best Yet products from your neighborhood SureSave markets. Pick up party platters with $18.93 deli items. Team up Best Yet hot dogs with Best Yet kettle cooked chips. Get Best Yet 12 packs of soda and Best Yet rising crust pizzas at Sobel's Markets in Shrewsbury, Stewartstown, Whiteford, and East York, and at Nell's Market Fresh Foods in Spry.
The York College Spartans play here. Catch York College basketball all season on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Your home for York's home teams.
Send it blocked by Jason Beatty. Big block. Wagner a big board. He puts it back in. Jared Wagner once again going up against the trees.
The spot for the Spartans. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports. Your teams all the time. York's only place for local sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Resuming play here in Central York as the Panthers are all over New Oxford defensively in this game. Ray Jensen alongside Andy Bria. New Oxford able to beat the press here as Sloniker takes it in for 2, but no good off the back of the rim. Panthers look like they have the ball back. It just seems every time New Oxford possessions, if you blink, you miss them.
Well, and the problem is they just don't know where to go right now against this 2-2-1 trap. They can't. They're trying to go back to the girl that the ball came from, and they can't go there. I mean, Central's doing a nice job of taking that away. So if they're taking that away, the ball's got to go to the middle.
Central leads 22-11. 3 minutes and change to go in this first half. Might be my Maple Donuts. Nixon Valencic, a shot that goes over the rim, no good. But the rebound goes to Sammy Godfrey, who checked in. Toss it away. Ball went out of bounds off of New Oxford. Fabry will inbound it from in front of the New Oxford bench.
New Oxford's got to stay in touch. I told you this is an important time in the game for them right now.
Inbound Sepik in the corner. Sepik a 3, no good. Rare miss
out there, yeah.
Here comes Ross of the Colonials charging in. Call a foul on the play. Looks like it goes going to go to Central.
On Fabry. That's her first, I believe. Yep.
Called it like it is. Fabry, her first foul. And going to the line for 2 is Madison Ross. And 1 for 2 her last trip. The first no good. Substitution in for New Oxford. Natalie Slusser is now in. Lauren Sloniker will take a seat. Slusser has 6 games played this season off the bench for New Oxford. Averages a point a game and just under 2 rebounds. 1.8 to be exact. Second free throw, no good from Ross. Rebound goes to Central York. Fabry head towards stepping on the right side. Inside to Sammy Godfrey, who gets a good look, but no good. And then near the mop up the mess is Nixon Valencic. puts it in for 2.
She's got 8 points in this quarter, most of them from inside down low.
Just has a nose for the ball. Jayla Brown, meanwhile, takes up for New Oxford, finds Ross for a long jumper, no good. Rebound Stabler, who's good at those offensive boards, but that putback no good.
And guess who's got the ball?
Here comes Nixon Valenchik in for 2, no good at the left side of the rim, grabs her own miss, puts it up for 2, and that is good.
That's 10. She's single-handedly putting a whooping right now on New Oxford.
26-11, a 15-point lead for Central. 2 minutes and change to go in the first half. And that's the rare mistake as they call Nixon Valenchik on the block there, tussling up at Madison Ross.
You know, Valenchik's got to understand that right there. She doesn't really need to foul her right there. She's all right. I believe that's her first.
Substitution for Central York as Taylor Marley takes a seat in favor of Sarah Berman, freshman guard. Already saw some minutes earlier in tonight's matchup. Off the inbound, here comes Berryhill for New Oxford. Goes to her left with Stabler. Now on her left again to Slusser. Slusser just to the left at the top of the key, drives in, tumbles at Valenchik, and Valenchik takes it away with some help from Sammy Godfrey. Here comes Nixon Valenchik driving up the left sideline, far away from us. Now trying to connect that from Sepik. It gets taken away by Stabler. Stabler drives in, has it smacked away. They prevent an easy basket. It goes out of bounds off of Central.
Just up and down the floor. I mean, back and forth.
At the long inbounds, New Oxford. Berryhill gets it from Stabler. Berryhill trying to take it in herself.
Oh, wow.
They call charge on Berryhill.
Offensive foul on Berryhill.
Well, that's the second one called on her tonight.
That's tough. I'll tell you what, you got 2 minutes and 11 seconds. You take her off the floor. Wow.
Yeah,
she has to behave herself now.
But 26-11 lead, no doubt.
Well, if he's going into a zone to try to protect Berryhill. All right, so this is the first zone he's played tonight, and that's New Oxford I'm talking about.
Comes Central York at Berman driving it in. Berryhill meets her. Stuffs her there, no call. And now Fabry, a perimeter shot for Central York after the go-around passes, no good. Sepik tried to keep it in bounds and does. Sammy Godfrey grabs the loose ball, no good. Her shot. Slusser to rebound for New Oxford.
Well, that was iffy for Berryhill.
Stabler has it now off the feed from Berryhill. Jayla Brown takes it up, no good. Godfrey the rebound for Central. Berman has it now. Down to the left of Fabry. Fabry right past half court. Bounce pass to the right of Berman. Now near the corner and Sepik. Now back to the top of the key. Fabry now around to the left and Valenchik. Now to the top and back inside now to Godfrey. Godfrey feed the corner again. Sepik comes in to grab it. No good. And the long jumper. Valenchik gets the board. And now a perimeter shot from Berman. No good. Valenchik the board again.
Valenchik's just constant inside, putting the body on somebody, getting those rebounds.
Always in a good prime position to grab the ball. Valenchik now into the left corner. Hits it out for Bree inside the Godfrey. They're just passing it any which way they want, and Godfrey gets the contact and the bucket.
Nice ball movement that time by Central. Moving it, reversing the basketball back and forth against the 1-2-2 zone, and they finally got the girl inside, wide open for the little layup, and she gets fouled besides. Nice ball movement that time by Central.
Absolutely, picturesque movement. Godfrey's free throw is good and extends the lead to 18. 29-11, 47 seconds to go. The foul was on Slusser for that and one opportunity.
4 minutes ago, I told you it was a real important time in the game for New Oxford. Well, not anymore.
Whitfitt and Jayla Brown will settle in. 30 seconds to go. Berryhill with it. Goes to her right. If Ross spinning away from Berman. Tries to drive it in up the baseline. Trying to drive it in. No good off the lay-in. Sepik the board. Goes to Fabry, and with 15 seconds, they're going to take their time with this last shot before the half ends.
Nice half-court defense that time by Central to get the ball back.
Berman on the right side. Goes at the top with Valenchik. Valenchik drives to the left to Sepik. Sepik inside the Godfrey. Backed out to Berman. Berman, a three-ish time expires. No good off the right side of the rim. And that is how our Maple Donuts first half ends. Your score as we head to our York Mitsubishi halftime. The Central York Panthers hosting this one. They lead 29-11. An absolutely tremendous second quarter. there for the Panthers, holding the Colonials to 4 points total in that quarter. Absolute tremendous defense, Andy.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, Bury Hill and them from New Oxford, the press rattled them. They've missed some layups, but the press got them playing at a pace that they're really not capable of playing. They just don't have the ball handlers or the skill sets to play against that kind of pressure. And you know, Wisner's trapping where he needs to trap, and so turnover after turnover. Plus, you got Valencia hitting 10 in that quarter. I mean, and that, you know, it's bad news right now for New Oxford.
Certainly looks like it. We'll head to halftime. Once again, the score 29-11, our York Mitsubishi halftime. We'll take a break and come with more after this. Here is our high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Sports injury? Walk into WellSpan Urgent Orthopedics for immediate care. No appointment is ever needed. Our orthopedic and sports medicine specialists are here to treat you. Visit wellspan.org/urgent orthopedics today for hours at our York and Hanover locations.
Local sports on WOYK are brought to you by Maple Donuts, a family tradition since 1946.
Hey, this is Andy Shea with the Keystone Sports Network. For the best Penn State football analysis and commentary, listen to Sports Radio 1350 for the Keystone Kickoff Show every Monday, Thursday, and Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. We'll bring you game reviews, player evaluations, and recruiting news. So for the best in Penn State talk, tune to Sports Radio 1350 WOYK for the Keystone Kickoff Show, brought to you locally by your neighborhood SureSave markets.
Your county, your teams. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in sports.
Craig Jensen, along with Andy Bria, back here at Central York. It's our halftime show brought to you by York Mitsubishi. The Central York Panthers hosting the New Oxford Colonials tonight, lead 29-11 at the half. And Andy, you look at these two teams, and it's just a tale, I would say, of two different defenses. Central York knows what they're doing, and they're putting their defensive game plan out there to perfection. New Oxford really doesn't have an answer. The Colonials, they've been okay on defense, but they're prime players for the Panthers that New Oxford just does not have an answer for, and that one of those is Nixon Valencic.
Well, yeah, and now she's at it. Last year I watched her when Emma Saxon was on the floor. I don't think I've seen Nikki Valencic inside the paint maybe twice in a game. She lived it there tonight, and with her ability to hit the outside shot, she becomes a dual threat, and that just makes her tougher. The other issue that New Oxford is having is that they don't have the skill sets through 5 or 6 or 7 players to play against this kind of intensity defensively. They're turning the ball over, easy baskets at the other end, and the thing that Angler said in the interview was, he said his team's having trouble putting the ball in the hole, and it shows. I mean, they scored 7 points in the first quarter and 4 points in the second quarter, and only 1 for 3 from the foul line, and they've only gotten there 4 times. So it could be a long night for New Oxford.
It's certainly looking like that. And these two teams have a lot of history, especially just last year. They were both in the D1 title game in the YAIAA. The Central York Panthers still look like they can be that team. New Oxford doesn't. What has changed for New Oxford in your mind?
Well, they lost. The fact that they lost 3 starters from last year's team is the issue. They don't have a real post presence right now. They want to get the ball into Morgan Adams in the post. She's a sophomore, so she's still learning that position. The problem for New Oxford is they don't have the ball handlers that they need. And Berryman is capable as anybody out there on the floor. The problem is she doesn't have the surrounding cast she needs to stay up with the Central. That being said, they're learning. They got a new coach. You know, he's putting in his philosophy, his type of offense, the way he wants them to play defense, and it's going to take a while. But, you know, they held it together pretty well there. It got to 7, and when it got to 9 or 11, I said, this is a key moment, and that's when Wisner really amped up the pressure with his 2-2-1 full court trap, and that trap led to 6 quick points by Valencic, and pretty much game set match at that point. So New Oxford's going to have to work hard defensively to get back in this game.
We'll certainly see if they can put all that together. We'll take a break and come back with some halftime stats. After this, we'll continue our York Mitsubishi halftime show. You're listening to our high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine on Sports Radio 1350.
Serving York for over 50 years, Vito's Pizza. Check out their daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11 till 2. 2 slices of pizza and a small soda, only $3.99, or a small sub for only $4.25. Monday night, 2 large cheese pizzas for only $15.99. Tuesday, a large stromboli and large pitcher of soda, just $11.99. Wednesday, a large cheese pizza and large pitcher of soda, just $11.49. Vito's open till midnight, Monday through Thursday till 1 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays. Dine in at 1734 South Queen Street, York, or get carry-out. Call 843-1143.
Your county, your teams. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
Back at Central York High School, Ray Jensen alongside Andy Bria continuing our York Mitsubishi halftime. The Central York Panthers hosting the New Oxford Colonials. They lead 29-11 at the half. And to go over some halftime stats, our very own Andy Bria. Andy, what do you have in your score sheet at the half?
All right, New Oxford, there's not a lot here. Dalen Stabler, 1 field goal in the first quarter. She has 2. Presley Burryhill, she had a field goal in each quarter. She leads all New Oxford scorers with 4 points. It's not going to get it done tonight. Morgan Adams, she's got 2 fouls and 2 points. Madison Ross, she went to the foul line 4 times. She was 1 of 4 for 1 point. And Lauren Sloniger had 1 field goal in the second quarter for 2 points. They scored 7 first quarter points and 4 second quarter points. That's not going to get it done against a New Oxford team that can fill it up from about 5 or 6 players.
Certainly not.
All right, on the central side of it, Wisner's kids are doing pretty well here. Taylor Markey off the bench, she had a 3 in the second quarter. She has 3 points. Nixon Valencic, this kid, I'm telling you what, she was 2 for 2 from the line in the first quarter, her only points of the quarter, and had 5 field goals, short field goals in the second quarter for a team leading 12 points. I believe 8 of those points were from inside of 4 feet, which last year I would have said couldn't have happened with Nixon Valencic, but I'll tell you, she's really expanded her game. Katie Fabry has 1 3 early in the game. She has 3 points. Sarah Sepik, she has 2 points. I think both of those coming from inside, not a jump shot between it. She has 4 points. Allie Godfrey off the bench has 3 the old-fashioned way. She's, and Emily Prowl, 2 field goals early in the first quarter for 4. They scored 11 in the first quarter, then ratcheted up the pressure and scored 18 points in the second quarter.
Absolutely tremendous response in the second quarter from Central York, really putting this game almost away, it seems, in the first half, but we still have another half to play, and New Oxford has to respond in some manner on offense and try to break through this tough Central York Panthers defense. We'll come back with our Coach's Pep Talk, brought to you by Wecker's Carpet after a quick break. You're listening to our York Mitsubishi halftime and our high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine. Stay tuned right here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
GameTimePA.com is your home for local high school sports. Log on for all the scores, stats, photos, and more, plus live stream coverage of the area's can't-miss matchups all season long. Stay in the game no matter where you are with the free GameTime PA app. Download it directly to your iPhone or Android and get all the Game Time features you love when you're on the go. Available at the iPhone App Store, Android Market, and, of course, GameTimePA.com.
Your teams all the time. York's only place for local sports. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Watt Barbershop has 2 barbers with over 75 years of combined expert experience. Watt Barbershop has 2 licensed barbers who have done hair replacement demonstrations all over the country. There's only one answer, and that's Iacono's. Located at 2030 South Queen Street in York, this family-owned business has been serving York since 1972. For hair replacements, for chemo and fashion wigs for men and women, for a relaxing grooming experience, and for the best in the business, visit or call Iacono's at 854-8258.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Join me weekday mornings at 9 on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Ray Jensen here alongside Andy Bria. here at Central York High School. The Central York Panthers lead the New Oxford Colonials 29-11. It's now time for a coach's pep talk brought to you by Wecker's Carpet from our own coach, Andy Bria.
Well, New Oxford's going to have to figure out, unless he can figure out how to beat this 2-2-1 trap, that's what he has to be talking about in the locker room. And what's happening is they're inbounding it to the side, and then they're trying to go back to the inbounder, and Central's got that pass taken away. So what's got to happen is if they're going to bring it in on the side, they got to run a guard in front, take the inbounder, run her into the front of that girl, get her in front, get it to the middle and in front to break that press. If they can't break the press, it's going to be a long night for New Oxford. And as far as Central goes, they just got to keep playing hard and playing the way they've been playing.
Yeah, for New Oxford, it's simple. Just find a way to score points.
Well, absolutely. But they got to get the ball down in half court first.
In the half court to begin our second half is New Oxford feeding inside from Sloniker and inside Adams. Now Berryhill back out to Stabler. Stabler comes around near the top of the key, settles in. Sepik on her, goes to the left of Berryhill. Fabry will be on her. Trying to go off the screen from Adams, but she goes to the left of Stabler.
You need a little more there's the pick and roll, but they blew it.
Tries to feed it into Adams, but Adams couldn't corral the pass from Stabler. Goes out of bounds off of her. Ball goes back to the Panthers.
Now here comes New Oxford with some kind of trap, but they're going to fall right back out of it. They're going to stay man-to-man.
Sepik is to Fabry. Fabry breaking away from Berryhill in the man. Gives it to Wagner, who had 2 fouls quickly in the first half, so she's back in now, though, in the second beginning. Prowl misses an inside shot, no good, surrounded by New Oxford Colonials. Rebound went to Adams.
Prowl's a sophomore. She's going to be good for them. That was a nice look.
Berryhill, a shot from perimeter, no good. Rebound to Valenchik.
Of course. Seems to be everywhere.
Calling her name a lot this evening. Valenchik goes to Fabry, now to the Sepik, now to Prowl. Prowl to her right of Wagner. Allison Wagner inside the Prowl. Prowl snags it out of the air, goes back to Valenchik, an open jumper, no good.
Wow. That's a rare miss by Valenchik.
Absolutely, not a hand in her face and just hit it off the back of the rim.
But New Oxford's got to make them pay when they miss, and that's the issue. They got to find a way to put the ball in the basket here.
Berryhill to Ross, now to the right, Stabler. Stabler drives in, Sepik on her. Lay-in, no good. Rebound goes to Prowl. Loose ball. She's sworn by Adams and Ross, but gets it away to Fabry. Here comes Wagner. Now cross to Valenchik. It's broken up. Sepik grabs the loose ball. Sepik gets stuffed by Adams from behind. Aaron's shot there goes out of bounds.
You got to watch yourself. There she should have just, Wisner saying, just bring it back out and reset.
Ball stay with the Panthers. Inbounds Wagner to Fabry and back to Fabry on the quick handoff. Bounce pass inside the Valenchik, now near the outside. Takes a jumper from the perimeter. No good off the back iron. Rebound goes to Adams, and to the Berryhill. Berryhill long, almost a touchdown pass to Sloniker. Can't connect on it. Goes out of bounds off of Sloniker.
Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. They are not your friend. Too many turnovers. You can't win when you throw the ball away like that, especially when you're trying to come back from a big deficit.
Certainly. Valenchik, jumper from near the perimeter, no good. Kind of upset of herself. She's missed 2. I would say she would call them easy shots in her book.
Absolutely. But you know what? They're quick shots, right? They don't need to be, run your offense and try to get a better look. Here's where the pressure comes. Now they figured out how to beat it. There's a girl up the side. Well done by New Oxford that time.
Now inside Sloniker. It's Adams now to the left at Berryhill. They'll settle in the half court. Fabry on Berryhill. Berryhill twitches to the right and hands to the right with Adams. Now Adam goes inside. Stabler. Now back to Berryhill. Fabry on her should go back to the right. Stabler. Adams working towards the corner. Stabler trying to find some room. Steps to the left. Gets it to Sloniker. Now the Adams near the right wing. Trying to bounce it inside to Stabler. Goes off a knee, it looked like.
Timeout, New Oxford.
Quick timeout from New Oxford. We'll join them quickly in our Hunters Hill Orthodontics timeout. Central York leads New Oxford 29-11. More after this short break.
Sports injury? Walk into WellSpan Urgent Orthopedics for immediate care. No appointment is ever needed. Our orthopedic and sports medicine specialists are here to treat you. Visit wellspan.org/urgent orthopedics today for hours at our York and Hanover locations.
Local sports on WOIK are brought to you by Maple Donuts, York's great tasting family tradition.
Mornings at 9. Dan Patrick on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Back at Central York High School, Ray Jensen alongside Andy Bria in our high school basketball game of the week. Central leads New Oxford 29-11 with just 5 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the third. Central York with it in the half court. Nixon Valenchik in the left corner. She'll feed the Sepik, and they go around the horn to Wagner. Another Fabry. Fabry now back to Wagner at the top of the key. She'll find Prowl on the outside. Now Fabry near the top of the key again. Steps right. It stays. Goes to Sepik to her right. Now back to the corner, Wagner. Wagner, perimeter shot. Up and in. Off the left inside of the rim and bounced in.
Hit pretty much everything. That's the first points in the second half for either team. Here comes the trap. Timeout, or you're going to lose it. Good job by Berryhill that time to throw it off the girl's leg to save the turnover.
Yeah, heads up play there.
Absolutely.
Points there from Wagner ended a drought.
About
almost
4
minutes.
For almost 4 minutes. For both teams.
And what was a very score-heavy side for Central York in the second, scoring 18 points.
Little frustration there by Berryhill trying to dribble through 3 kids, walked in the process, and the reason she walked is she's just frustrated at this point.
You're trying to amp up the aggressiveness, and with that, some sloppiness can occur.
Yeah.
Central York now in the half. Wagner with the Valenchik. Valenchik inside the Prowl. Prowl drives to the left, circles, gets away from her defender with a nice step. Shuttered to the left to shrug off Adams and had an open space and absorbed the contact. She's going to go to the line for 2. The first foul of any team thus far in the half.
That's 2 on Sloniker.
Goes to Sloniker. It's her second foul of the game. Prowl's first free throw is no good.
I mean, this is the girl that's got to keep that's got to hold up her end until Preston's wheels repaired.
And this is a good time for Prowl to develop as she's a sophomore.
Absolutely.
She wouldn't normally see this much playing time, and we would say
I would think not.
Whistle blown. It looks like Mike Engler wants to go over a few things.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure what the issue was there. Why they stopped the game. They inbounded the ball. Engler must be jawing a little bit.
Quick chat with
the official.
Referee.
Why would he stop? But why stop play? I don't understand.
Exactly. Well, we're resuming play regardless. New Oxford with it. Stabler drives in. Going to get off contact from Wagner. Shot no good.
They just can't buy a basket. Now, that wasn't a good shot, but they just can't buy a basket at this point.
33-11 the lead for Central York. 3 minutes and change to go in the third. Proud with it, almost has it taken away by Stabler and Adams, but able to get away to Sepik for 3, and that is good. Count it, 36-11. That's a tremendous lead for Central now. On the other end, a quick basket there.
Lawrence Sloniker, I believe.
It sure was.
That's New Oxford's first points of the third quarter.
Absolutely tremendous defense from that point. Meanwhile, Berryhill did good defense of her own, taking the ball away from Wagner and keeps it inbounds in front of the scores table, takes it in for 2. That is the Presley Berryhill that we expected to show up tonight.
Absolutely. She just picked her pocket, then went to the sideline and laid it in.
On the other end, Central York working quickly. Nixon Valenchik outside to Sepik. Sepik's shot from perimeter, no good. Stabler the rebound.
See, Berryhill going to have to take over a little bit if she wants to get back in this game.
Berryhill pass to the right with Sloniker. Now back to Berryhill.
Somebody come set a screen for her.
Now Stabler. And goes to her left of Ross. Ross now into the corner, back to Stabler. Sloniker coming over to help, but she drives in off Valenchik. Maybe not be a wise move to drive off into Valenchik as the defender.
Well, there's not a lot of movement. If you see, there was an open Adams under the basket. Nobody got her the ball.
Stabler working on the outside. Ross now to Stabler. Stabler trying to drive in near the top of the key. Now quick pass into Ross, who gets a jumper near the baseline to go. 36-17 now.
That's our third point.
And once again, Central York working quickly to settle into the half court. Prowl trying to get it past, though. Rare mistake from Central York as Berryhill snatches that one. Berryhill absorbs the contact from Prowl going up the sideline. Gets it to Stabler. She misses her shot. Stabler grabs the loose board, a key attribute for her, and she puts it away for 2. Now timeout for Central.
Oh, he's made it interesting.
Certainly has. 36-19 the score. We'll join them at the timeout. Our Hunters Hill Orthodontics timeout. We'll be back more after this. High school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine.
Hunters Hill Orthodontics is a longtime staple in the orthodontic care community. With offices in York and Dillsburg, our practice's top priority is to provide you with the highest quality orthodontic care in a friendly, comfortable environment. Call our York offices, 1910 Kenneth Road, at 767-6694 to make your appointment, or at 1399 South Queen Street, 885-5468. Or in Dillsburg, call 502-1186. We've got your smile at Hunters Hill Orthodontics.
Get your team parties started with great Best Yet products from your neighborhood SureSave markets. Pick up party planners with $18.93 deli items. Team up Best Yet hot dogs with Best Yet kettle cooked chips. Get Best Yet 12 packs of soda and Best Yet rising crust pizzas at Sobel's Markets in Shrewsbury, Stewartstown, Whiteford, and East York, and at Nell's Market Fresh Foods in Spry.
Back here in Central York High School, Ray Jensen alongside Andy Bria. Minute 44 to go in the third. Central leads 36-19 over New Oxford. New Oxford's trying to make things interesting here after the Panthers have been shutting them down on defense, and Nixon Valenchik has been a stout force for Central on offense tonight, and she gets a basket to go there right under the rim.
But that's her first points of the third quarter, and they need her now to jump back on a scoring trend. I mean, they're up 19, but he doesn't want to get sloppy, run their offense.
We kind of listened in to Scott Wisner's huddle over the break, and he didn't want them to break down their lack of effort.
Right, the number 22 that time, Morgan Adams, with good 2 points there. So New Oxford finding a little offense might be a little, too late for that, but.
Sepik, on the half court, drives in to Fabry, gets away from Fabry, trying to get to Prowl. Goes out of bounds. 2 new Panther players in. And Taylor Marley checks in as Sarah Berman. First time they're seeing play here in the second.
Now let's see if they learn their lesson, New Oxford, against this zone trap. Let's see if they can break it. See, there's nobody in the middle of the floor. That's where you got to be. That'll collapse that 2-2.
Sort of spread out as they tried to beat it.
Yeah.
Ross with it. Feeds to the left to Berryhill in the corner. Trying to work off a screen from Adams. Drives up the baseline. Floater, no good. Rebound trying to go to Stabler. Bounced off her hand. Berryhill picks up the loose ball. Gets it away to Adams as she falls. No good off the front of the rim. Rebound goes to Sarah Berman. Here comes Central. Taylor Marley works it. Passes to her left to Prowl. Prowl, a long shot. Oh, and it gets lodged in between the basket and the backboard.
I thought Scott Wisner was going to have a corner if they didn't call that foul. But they did, right as he was about to give him a piece of his mind.
Everyone on the New Oxford side somewhat frustrated, and cannot blame them.
I mean, it was a late call, late whistle.
Foul on Morgan Adams. It's her third. It's 2 free throws for Prowl. Meanwhile, the ball is still lodged in between the iron and the backboard.
This guy ain't going to get it.
I have a fan of his young junior here at tonight's game, trying to dislodge the ball from the backboard and the iron. Now he's almost doing a pull-up on the darn thing.
He's going to hurt himself if you don't watch him.
Trying to punch it out. And he's able to get it over to applause from the crowd. One of the riskier moves we'll probably call all season.
Absolutely. All right, that was funny.
Well, circus show aside, here comes the free throws from Prowl. First is good.
Nice stroke that time by the young lady.
Second made free throw of the evening. Second shot this trip is also good. Extends the Central York lead 40-21 of 32 seconds to go in the third. Off the inbound, Stabler. Berryhill back to Stabler. Now Ross Stabler again. Here comes Berryhill up the sideline. Gets to the Jayla Brown who checked in. Brown up the baseline, gets a shot to go. Absorbing contact from Valenchik.
Jayla Brown with a nice move that time to get her first 2 points of the game.
They call a foul on New Oxford, and Mike Engler is not happy.
No, he's not. But that's the way the coaching thing goes. You're never happy. But, you know, when you're pressing like that, Ray, you don't want to commit that backcourt foul. That's you might as well not press. I mean, you got to play without your hands. You can't impede their progress.
Foul goes to Berryhill. That's her third of the evening. Off the inbound, Marley has it. Markle checked in the meanwhile. She's in for Central York. Berman with it down to the left corner. Hits it out to the top of the key, Valencic. Valencic drives and kicks to her left with Markle. Markle in the back to the right, Valencic. Berman drives in off the feed from Valencic. Lifts it up as time expires and is no good. And we end the third quarter and head to the final quarter of play with a stout lead for the Panthers. They lead 40-23. Central York just continuing to turn up the heat on New Oxford, and we'll see what they can do in the fourth and final quarter of play. We'll come back with more after this in our high school basketball game of the week, presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine.
Hi, this is Nerlens Noel of the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers play here.
Bob's to Nerlens and an alley-oop jam. Nerlens Noel throws it down.
You're on York's home for Sixers basketball.
Holmes for three. Yeah! Up and good! A triple! And Holmes puts it in. Down the lane. Blocked again. He's fired up. Oh, yeah! Throw it down. Sixers get a jam.
Sports Radio 1350, WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
With spring sports on the horizon, the off-season is a crucial time to work on the skills to improve your athletic ability. Whether you play lacrosse, baseball, softball, or do track and field, learn how to run, change direction, get stronger, faster, and gain confidence with Unique Physique's John Kirchner. John has a master's in exercise science and performance enhancement and is the trainer you and your team need. John guarantees that he'll increase strength and quickness for you and your team's spring sport. For more info or to sign up, visit Unique Physique in East York or call John at 873-0234.
Getting the fourth quarter of play here at Central York High School. Central York leads 42-23. They did lead 40, but a quick basket from Nixon Valencic puts the Panthers right back where they started, scoring quick baskets.
Right, and I mean, Valencic scoring inside off a little curl, off a screen.
New Oxford in the half. Jayla Brown to the Stabler. Stabler kicks to the left. Berryhill. Now Ross to her left at Brown. Brown inside trying to get it to Adams. Has it taken away by Central York. Then Berman has a loose ball go away to her left, and Berryhill picks up the loose ball for New Oxford. No good off the shot there from Adams. Picking it up was Central York. Valencic was there. Now Berman a shot on the other end. No good. Rebound. Looks like it went to New Oxford, but it went out of bounds.
That's Central's first foul. They did not pick up a foul in the third quarter. That's some serious basketball.
Very disciplined tonight has been Central York, and it goes to Sammy Godfrey, the foul. It's her first.
Nice to do a girls' game.
Certainly is.
I enjoy watching girls basketball.
It's a different type of game, and you see a lot more, I would say, all-around better play. At some points in the game, for sure. There's a lot more discipline, I think, on the girls' side at times. As Berryhill gets a jumper to go.
Berryhill with another deuce. She got 8 on the night.
As Jayla Brown picks the pocket of a Panther and gets it in for 2. And New Oxford, while it's still a heavy trail for them to get back into this game, they're being aggressive, and it's working for them. Brown and Berryhill quick points, and Berryhill takes a ball away from Sarah Berman, gets to the Stabler. That is good for 2.
And no foul.
My goodness.
Who was that made that shot?
Stabler.
Stabler, okay, thank you.
Not a problem. 42-29 to score.
And Valencic just got called for an offensive foul.
Certainly trying to make things interesting. New Oxford trails 42-29, but they have a lot of things going in their way in this past minute or so.
I mean, it's a 13-point lead. He wants a timeout. Scott Wisner wants a timeout right now.
There will be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. Ray Jensen alongside Andy Bree here at Central York. 42-29. A lot of things are going right for Central, but they're sort of letting New Oxford sneak back here.
Well, all of a sudden, the energy level got real quick. They got a couple of quick steals. Berryman flexed her muscles a little bit. It's never over till it's over. I mean, There's a lot of basketball to be played yet. 6 minutes. If all of a sudden New Oxford can put the ball in the hole and beat that press, you still got Valencic that can take over at any time. Sepik. Now they got Prowl. They got a little shorter because Prowl now's on the bench, but they're a little quicker, I believe, with Marley in the game, and she can shoot the 3 too. So right now they need to stop the bleeding here. That was 3 field goals in a row for New Oxford. So we'll see.
Colonials have the ball, resuming play. Jayla Brown gets to the left to Stabler. Now to the right, Barry Hill. Barry Hill worked towards the left corner. Fabry on her. She drives off Fabry to the right, working inside, struggles and slips, gets it away to Madison Ross before she fully tumbles and loses the ball. Gets it back from Ross, takes a perimeter shot, no good off the front iron. Rebound goes to Nixon Valencic. Now the other end, Sammy Godfrey, some open space, and just gets stuffed.
Whoa!
Morgan Adams, the sophomore forward and center, just absolutely smacked that ball off the court.
Wow, that was pretty. She was trailing, and she got, believe me, she got all ball.
Good speed, they smack it away from behind. Central York keeps it, though. Valencic drives in off the inbounds, surrounded by a trio of Colonials, no call. Ball goes out of bounds. It goes off of Central. Oh, sorry, off of New Oxford.
Scott Wisner a little upset with no foul call that time.
Certainly, a lot of contact amongst 3 different defenders that surrounded Valencic on that last trip up to the basket. The inbound smacked away by Adams, so we're going to do it again. Central gets it to Valencic. Off the pass from Fabry. Now Sepik, now back around to Fabry in the left side. Work towards the middle. Perimeter shot from Fabry, no good. Barely, didn't even touch rim. Barry Hill grabs the ball. Screaming up the court for the Colonials is Barry Hill. Raised off the Sepik near the baseline. And they'll call a blocking foul on Sepik.
See, there's no rhyme to reason now right now for me with these calls. That was from my angle, and I got the great angle here. Barry Hill used the left arm to literally push Sepik out of the way. They called that a charge earlier. Now it's being called a block. So
Barry Hill had 2 offensive fouls on her in the first half.
Oh, I know.
And on the inbound, Brown with contact from Marley. They're going to call the blocking foul again on Central, this time on Taylor Marley. It's her first foul.
She makes these 2 shots. You cut this to an 11-point lead, okay? This is I like this. This is fun.
Yeah, certainly a much different game than we saw at halftime. Brown's first is good.
No quit, New Oxford, and I didn't think there would be with Mike Angler at the helm.
Allison Wagner, meanwhile, checks back in for the Panthers. And like we mentioned, this is the team that last year went to the YAIAA Division I title game. They still have a lot of talent on this team, despite losing 4 key starters to graduation.
She misses the second one.
And half court Central, Fabry to the left, Sepik. Valencic on the baseline. Passes to Wagner. Now back around to the top of Fabry. Sepik, a 3, no good. In and out. Adams the board. For New Oxford, he heads it to Barry Hill, who will take it up. Looks like the Panthers are going to gain some height soon as Emily Prowl is ready to check in to get back in the game.
You get all this contact on that, and you get nothing there.
Barry Hill and Wagner took a tumble into the basket, no call. And the other, Nixon Valencic floats one in for 2.
Of course, Valencic.
Who else?
You let her get out. You let her get out in the open floor. She's going to hurt you.
44-30 the score. 4 minutes and change to go in the final quarter. Jayla Brown working with it, spinning away from Wagner. Wagner still on her, tries to go up.
Somebody must have a dinner reservation, okay? One of the officials or all the officials are going to a party after this because there's a lot of contact and bodies flying everywhere.
Certainly a much looser game called here in the second half of play. Sepik, meanwhile, ball in traffic, tries to get away to Valencic. Valencic, an errant pass to Stabler. It's taken away. Mike Engler, a loud cry out of frustration there.
Right, Mike's got, because he had a break going on, he wants to know what the issue is.
Looked like a clean takeaway for Stabler.
Well, they had a girl down at the other end. A Central girl was having an issue, but I'm not sure what the problem was.
Can't see from my eye either.
But Engler's upset because he had a break going, and they called official time, official time.
Mm-hmm. New Oxford keeps the ball, but doesn't have a breakaway chance that they would have had if the whistle wouldn't have been blown. Berryhill with it. She's in the corner. Out to the left of Ross. Ross trying to go across to Brown, gets there. Brown off the screen from Stabler, goes to the way from it to the right. Now feeds to the Berryhill. Berryhill, a long three.
Wow, she launched that from about 20 feet.
Made rim, but no good. Fabry with it. It's past the half-court logo. Sepik now in the corner. Prowl check back in. Prowl trying to find someone open, just goes back to Sepik. Now Wagner, now to the other corner of Fabry. Fabry now inside the Prowl, back out to Fabry, loses the handle, tried to take a shot, and goes to Sepik now. Now back to Fabry. Fabry will drive in, kick out to Valenchik. Should go to her right with Allison Wagner. Wagner, not a lot of time, trying to find someone. Fabry, Prowl, Valenchik going around the horn now.
Right, great patience right now being shown by Central.
Wagner, Sepik tried to drive it in, no good, taken away.
Our own Valenchik gotten away.
Little friendly fire team, Valenchik and Sepik. Now go back to New Oxford. Berryhill, a long shot, no good. Looked like from perimeter. And Prowl was tussling. Sorry, Sepik was tussling. Prowl trying to help her out, and they'll call it dead ball. It's getting pretty physical here in the second half of play here at Central.
It's for about the last 4 minutes, and we've got bodies flying everywhere.
So whistles galore.
Yeah.
Earlier in the first, and now not so much. Still a 14-point lead for Central, 44-30 their lead. 3 minutes, 3 seconds to go in the final quarter of play. Substitution in for the Panthers. Katie Markle back in. Sarah Sepik will take a seat. Inbounds for New Oxford, and meanwhile, Stabler finds Berryhill in the half. Takes a perimeter shot, no good, in and out of the rim. Prowl the rebound.
They can't buy that long jumper tonight.
Fabry will take it up for Central. Hands it off to Wagner. Wagner works towards the top and hands it to Katie Markle. Valenchik there to the left. Now to her right. Prowl right again of Wagner. In the wing, she goes towards the top of Valenchik, and they're just trying to settle in and buy as much time as they can before they take a quality shot.
Or you don't have to shoot in in high school basketball.
True. Girls want to score points, that's for sure, as Valenchik drives in. She wants points, all the points she can get.
I understand that, but the issue is you got a 14-point lead with 2:27 left. Now, they finally got Powell. It gets killed by 3 New Oxford players, and she's going to shoot 2 foul shots. But with no shot clock and a 14-point lead, run as much time as you need to run it to get, like you said, a quality shot. What they just did there wasn't a quality shot. Did she make or miss that?
She missed her first one.
Beautiful stroke.
Second is good.
Right.
Extends the lead to 15, 45-30. 2 minutes and change to go in the final quarter of play. Jayla Brown into the Stabler, now to her left. Adams, now back inside, trying to find Stabler, they'll blow a whistle. Katie Markle, the guilty party for the Panthers, and it is. It's her second foul of the game. Stabler will inbound it for New Oxford. Finds Ross, gets it back to Stabler. Now back to the left.
Central in a little, no, they're not in the zone. They're still playing man, but they're really giving a lot of space to New Oxford.
Trying to flex around a little bit as much as they can. I assume as Valenchik feeds off of Ross, and then Ross able to get away from Berryhill. Berryhill now back across to Ross. Valenchik still on her. Stabler trying to go inside to Adams off the feed, but Prowl, nice defensive play there to take it away. Katie Fabry with it now for Central. Heads it to Wagner. Wagner down to Prowl. Prowl to Valenchik. Around the horn to Fabry. Now to Katie Markle. Wagner again. Prowl outside. Fabry outside near the right corner.
Let's see who pulls the trigger for Central.
Around the horn to Wagner. Prowl into the corner. Valenchik gets a hand in her face, almost a face mask from Stabler. And they blow the whistle.
Minute 17 left, 15-point lead. This one's pretty much in the bank. I thought New Oxford, for the type of team he's got right now, played well. They weren't able to take that pressure that Central applied to them.
Certainly not. And it's a tale of two teams who last year went to the Division I title game and are in two very different spots now in this current season.
Right. And this is a good Central basketball team. I mean, they got shooters inside, outside, and they don't have their quality big girl even on the floor at this point. So.
And Tiara Preston did not play tonight with a bum ankle.
No, and as long as they win, I would keep her on the bench until that ankle's well.
Well and rested, no doubt.
Right.
Under a minute to go, 48 seconds to be exact in the final quarter. It's really passing around the horn are the Panthers. Wagner with it currently. He goes to Fabry. Now back to Wagner. Drives to the right, and he'll call a foul. I believe this one will be on Stabler for New Oxford. It is. It's her third. Picked up 2 quick fouls there after she accidentally smacked the face of Valentric trying to get some contact and not allow her a free trip up the baseline. This time she hits Wagner.
Still not going to the 1-on-1. We haven't gone to the 1-on-1 yet in this game.
They have not yet, as Markle has it now for the Panthers. Wagner within their half court, settling in, spins to the right. Ends it to Fabry away. Now almost a game of keep away, it seems. Valencia goes to her right at Wagner.
Yeah, kill the last minute and go home. You got the win in your pocket.
20 seconds to go. 15-point lead for Central York, and it looked like it might stay that way. Certainly no one in a hurry to take a shot. Wagner surrounded by a duo of Colonials and Ross and Stabler, able to get away to Valencic and now to Markle. Valencic has it, 2 seconds left, and they'll just settle in and let the clock run out. And that'll be it. Final from Central York. The Panthers victorious 45-30, and they keep up their tremendous level of play both on the offensive and defensive side of things. They hold the Colonials to just 30 points coming into tonight. They were holding opponents below 40, 39.5 points per game to be exact, and that total will just look even nicer after this evening's contest, Andy.
Yes, sir. I mean, they did a nice job, and they've got some players, and I think they're well coached. We all know that. I think they performed well. I was really impressed with Prowl inside, setting screens and doing some of the things that they're going to miss with Preston on the bench. So yeah, they shown well. And New Oxford, Berry Hill, very nice player. She needs some help, but Mike Angler, he'll get him there.
Certainly, and it's a tale of two teams here, and we'll go more in our post-game show brought to you by Neighborhood Sure Save Markets. We'll take a break and go with our initial thoughts after a break here in our high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine. Once again, the final, the Central York Panthers 45, the New Oxford Colonials 30. Post-game show after this in our high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Sports injury? Walk into WellSpan Urgent Orthopedics for immediate care. No appointment is ever needed. Our orthopedic and sports medicine specialists are here to treat you. Visit wellspan.org/urgent orthopedics today for hours at our York and Hanover locations.
The York College Spartans play here. Catch York College basketball all season on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Your home for York's home teams.
And a race down court all the way, and Wagner lays it in. Coast to coast, get out of her way. Mazza 3, got it again. Sam Wozniak.
The spot for the Spartans. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports. Your county, your teams. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. First in York, first in sports.
If you're buying new flooring, besides clicking around the internet, you need to see Wecker's Flooring Center. You'll be excited by Wecker's new design center for luxury vinyl tile. Wecker's expanded hardwood and laminate departments will impress you. And Wecker's variety of carpeting and warehouse truckload buys on remnants and rolls is unmatched. But the reason to choose Wecker's is trust. From the buying experience to the installation. That's why they're voted best 11 years running. Wecker's Flooring Center, Route 30, Hallam Exit.
Mornings at 9. Dan Patrick on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Between car payments, repairs, and the price at the pump, it can feel like your car is going to drive you out of house and home. Fortunately, Donegal Insurance Group can make keeping your car on the road more affordable. That's because for safe drivers, Donegal delivers rates that are among the lowest in the state. To find out how much you can save, call your neighborhood Donegal agent today. Contact Kochman Kunkel Insurance at 717-854-0300 or stop in at 3217 East Market Street, York. Locally owned and operated by Pam and Rudy Kochman. Kochman Kunkel Insurance.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Join me weekday mornings at 9 on Sports Radio 1350 WOIK.
Back at Central York High School, our high school basketball game of the week presented by WellSpan Sports Medicine. It's time now for our neighborhood Sure Save Markets post-game show. Ray Jensen alongside Andy Bria. And what was a tale of two different teams where last year they were both Division I tournament finalists, and New Oxford lost to Central in the final match as Central took home the Division I title in the YAIAA last year, and they're still in that same rankings. Most would say this season, New Oxford not so much the case, and that really showed as Central York took home a 45-30 victory. Once again, Ray Jensen alongside Andy Bria. And Andy, in the first half, Central York, they put their pedal to the metal, especially in the second quarter, scoring 18 points in that quarter alone, and most of that off of Nixon Valenchek, and we'll get to her individual stat line in the next segment. But they held New Oxford to just 4 points total in the second quarter. To me, that was the tale of the first half. That second quarter so pivotal for the Panthers, showing their force offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and I mean they had their zone trap working in the full court, which created turnovers, which gave them easy baskets, and once New Oxford was down, 18. Game was pretty much over. They just don't have that kind of team that can fill it up and bring you back into a game quickly. So, once it got away from, like I said, the 11-point mark, when Central got ahead by 11, I was pretty much seeing the flow of the game going towards Central. They got nice players. And he defensively, they basically took New Oxford's offense away, and that's in 45-30. I don't think the score really was indicative because in the second half, and especially in the third quarter, they got a couple of quick baskets, and then again, New Oxford got a couple of quick baskets off some steals in the beginning of the fourth quarter to cut the lead to almost to 11 at one point, and that was as close as they got.
Certainly, they try to put some offense together in the second half. They scored 12 points in the third. Most of, as you said, off those quick baskets were held to just 7 points in the final quarter of play.
Right.
So just a tale of two different teams and programs that are somewhat in two different directions. Central,
Absolutely.
They have 11 players who returned from last year's league title team. New Oxford, they lost 4 starters, one of them an 1,000-point scorer in Kaylin Long, and Haley Luckaball, who now the listeners will recognize her. She's now a YCP Spartan for the York College women's basketball program. So both these teams in different directions. The Panthers moving forward. They got Southwestern next up on January 10th. New Oxford Colonials, they got West York on the 8th. Panthers are in a better direction, you think, for sure?
Absolutely. I mean, they got to weather the storm. They got to weather the storm until they get their big girl back. And playoffs will be the end of the month. I think they're well positioned right now to get to the playoffs. And anything can happen right now. I mean, I'm not seeing a lot of the other teams. There's a tight one going on right up now in DeLone and Adams County and at DeLone High School. I think York Catholic was down by 3 or 4 late in the game. But there's some quality teams, but Central is definitely one of them.
Absolutely. Can't disagree with that. And we'll take a break and come back and give you the full stat line at both sides for Central York and New Oxford. After this, you're listening to our neighborhood Sure Save Market post-game show here, our high school basketball game of the week. York Adams play. Central York victorious 45-30. We'll take a break and come back with the stats after this and our York Mitsubishi post-game show. High school basketball game of the week brought to you by WellSpan Sports Medicine. As always, right here on Sports Radio 1350